Happy Thursday. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. My internet is back on. Woohoo! They fixed our internet. Well, they fixed the outage issue we had. So, can you tell I'm excited? Like, y'all will be able to see me. I ain't going to be buffering, freezing, whatever it is on Facebook and YouTube. So confirm for me. Cause see some people on YouTube. So let me know. There should be no buffering or frozen videos this evening. Finally, I tell you, I sincerely appreciate the service that Xfinity offers. Hey, Pisuli. Hello, girl. How are you? I really appreciate Xfinity service more than ever now. Because I tell you, Tuesday I tried to do with the hotspot. It just wasn't doing it. Let's call it spade a spade. It is what it is. Hi, everyone. Coming in. Let's talk about Vawa. Let's talk. Good evening. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale Samuel. Immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. You've got an immigration question, you got an immigration case. We do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. Hello, video pumping. Hello, Monique Ricard. Love you, girl. You know you got my heart. And we've never met in person, I tell you, but I love her. So what's going on, people? Come on in. Let's talk immigration. Let's talk about VAWA. Let's talk about circumstances where you can file. Hash on YouTube. Can you let me know if I'm coming in clear tonight? Hello, Bukola Lajori. Love you, DJ Pumping. Hello, Mr. Ernest. How are you? Haven't seen you on live in a long time. Making all this dollars. We don't see you anymore. I had a good day. How about you? Hello, Luciano EG. So YouTube, can you guys see me clearly today? You bet. I'm sure you can, because perfect. I'm telling you, I love my Xfinity internet service. Y'all have to understand. I got 2 boys, so you know that they're constantly on video game, phone, TV, iPad, and that I work from home a lot. If I don't have to drive into the office, especially since COVID, I call my firm a hybrid firm. So we're mostly virtual, but I still have brick and mortar office because I do criminal defense and family law in Alabama. So I'm still kind of like required to still keep that. But everything is we're virtually my only one person really is physically in the office. All my girls work virtually and our system just works. So having the internet down completely just threw me off. I couldn't get nothing done. But anyway, come on in. Let's talk VAWA. Let's talk immigration. If you need to contact us, our number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Send an email, aos@olalayalawfirm.com, office@olalayalawfirm.com, or contact @olalayalawfirm.com. Like and share Facebook page. Follow us on TikTok. I think I have some interesting videos on TikTok. So always ask me, how do you come up with this? Y'all don't understand how my brain works. Trust me, you just do not understand. Because there's some things that I consult with clients on our immigration sense, something like this, complete BS. And I'm like, I ain't going to lose sleep over this. I'm just going to turn it into a skit. But it's so if you haven't followed us on TikTok, go ahead and follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All platforms, just put in Olale Immigration, and this girl with this gray hair is going to show up. That's it. But anyway, coming in, if you have questions, you already know the drill, put them in the comment section, and we'll get to that. But this evening is dedicated to talking about VAWA cases. It is one thing I do. I wouldn't say it's my favorite thing, but it's one thing I'm passionate about because it's one type of avenue to get legal status that a lot of people will qualify for, many people qualify for, because a lot of us immigrants come here and we are treated like trash. Let's call it spade a spade, because people get married and they know you need them to get your papers and they become and they turn into something else. It is ridiculous. So for me, knowing that it is not the easiest thing for anyone to leave their home country, uproot yourself, and start afresh in the foreign land, only for you to be held hostage in your own freaking home. Why? Don't even get me started. But that's one of the reasons why I'm very passionate. I do a lot of employment-based immigration as well, but many, many more people do not have, a master's degree or employer-based or H-1B opportunities, different, that's just the truth. So this is why, and a lot of, I want to say 85, at the very least, 85% of my VAWA clients are males. Men make up at least 85% of my VAWA clients. And when I tell you that some of you have never heard some of the things that men go through in the name of immigration papers, if you hear, when I was talking about, and I did a skit about, someone saying you can't cook your own food. I have a client whose wife literally poured bleach in his for real. Like, yo, that's the fastest way you get me to jail. Because I don't play with my food. If you touch my food, if you touch my Nigerian food, I'm going to jail. Just saying. But anyway, making light of something that is serious because, life is serious enough. But that's why I look forward to being able to get people out of craziness. Hello, Miss 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Getting people out of craziness so that they can have a path to freedom. So let's talk about VAWA. If you have questions, once again, put them in the comment section. Number to call if you need to set up a consultation is 334-341-4475. You can actually send a text to that number as well, and somebody will respond to you. But anyway, let's get started. If you have been living under a rock, that's the only reason you don't know about VAWA. Knocked him out with a baseball bat. I have a client who just retained my services yesterday. This guy has a very deep scar right here on very close to his heart. He was stabbed. And the thing is, he didn't report to the cops because he's afraid for his status and he doesn't want to get her in trouble because they have a kid together. People are going through crazy, good evening, Mr. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, crazy stuff. Y'all don't even understand what people are going through. Let me put this on. I'm going to cut that real quick on Instagram because I had to put on Do Not Disturb. So what is VAWA? Who qualifies? How do you file it? What circumstances can make you eligible to file that? Let me put this up before I start blabbing them out. So we're talking all things VAWA tonight. Who qualifies? Okay, I have not gotten to most of my email. I usually just scan through and see what I need to do during the day. So my email, like literally going through, is my bedtime pastime. That's how I go to bed. But so I'll get to that. Thank you. I love you, Stanley. Yeah, thank you. So who qualifies? What circumstances do you qualify? Will make you eligible for VAWA? Will your spouse get in trouble? Those are questions or things or issues we're going to talk about briefly. If you are someone who is married to a citizen or green card holder, you have you're physically present in the United States, or you have one of the exceptions to being able to qualify from outside the United States to file, and you have suffered abuse from the hands of your spouse, you are eligible for VAWA in a nutshell. So abused spouses, abused parents, and abused parents will be parents of U.S. citizen children who are at least 21 years old. Abused children of U.S. citizens or green card holder, minor children. Those are people who are eligible to apply or file for VAWA. VAWA is a self-based petition, meaning you do not have, you do not need someone else to file the petition on your behalf. So compared to a regular marriage base where you need your spouse to file an I-130, and based on that, you file your green card application. In a VAWA case, you do not need that spouse to file anything on your behalf. You are going to be the petitioner and the beneficiary of your cases. So you are in the dual role, and that is where freedom comes. The main difference between, or differences I should say, between the regular marriage base and the VAWA case is, in a regular case, you need your spouse to file the underlying petition for you to qualify for green card. In a VAWA case, you file the underlying petition based on the fact that you have been mistreated by your spouse or your parent or your son or daughter, and you file the petition, and your green card is going to be based on your self petition. And then in a VAWA case, your spouse, your parent will not be notified that you have filed a VAWA case. It is confidential. It is confidential. USCIS is prohibited from discussing that with anyone, because that is what the statute, the law, Immigration Nationality Act requires and mandates. So what circumstances can you file VAWA in? Now, let me say this. The fact that your spouse decides to leave a marriage, because I tell you, I have a lot of consultations, and more than half of the consultations I have in VAWA cases I tell you up front, I just don't feel like we can win this case, because it's not it's not as strong as I would want it to be. You have the choice to decide you want to go ahead or not. But I tell my clients, listen, half of the cases I don't take, because it's not a catch-all. It's not a default, like, okay, if this doesn't work, okay, then I can file for VAWA. No, that's not how it works. So what circumstances? So the fact that I was saying that if your spouse decides I'm done with the marriage, this is the United States. Everyone has a right to decide, I don't feel like staying married anymore, I'm going. Someone leaving a marriage just because they don't feel like being married is not ground for VAWA by itself. Now, someone leaving a marriage where they abandon you, you're financially strapped because of what they did. They promised you heaven and earth, and they have mistreated you in the sense of one day they're there, the next day you're wondering what's going on. One day they want a divorce. It's an emotional roller coaster. Now, VAWA does not have to be physical abuse. Many more of my cases are non-physical abuse. So the abuse part has to be either physical abuse or extreme cruelty. Physical abuse would be you have injuries, you have, photographs, medical report, whatever the case may be. Majority of people do not have that. Why? Most of the men that I represent, for instance, do not make report. The guy that I just considered that retained our services yesterday, God saved his life, but he did not he didn't file a complaint. And that is just the truth. So emotional abuse is abuse that qualifies under extreme cruelty. But emotional abuse is just not someone says, I'm done, I don't feel like being married, and then you say, okay, yes, they're abusing. No, it's got to be something that a pattern where it's seen to be, okay, no one in their right senses should have to deal with this. Now, the fact that you're filing for VAWA does not mean that you are not going to deal with good faith. You still have to prove that you entered into the marriage, and I'm talking to marriage biz right now, that you entered into the marriage in good faith. It wasn't just for a green card. You have bona fide evidence. You have shared residency. You don't have to live with the spouse the whole time. You just have to be able to show that you lived with them at some point. Now, I think 2 months ago, good news about expanding that requirement of shared residency in VAWA case. It used to be that the shared residency starts counting after marriage. But with the new policy, shared residency, even before you got married, qualifies for that requirement of shared residency. So anytime you live together with that person before you actually even tied the knot, qualifies as shared residency. But you still have to prove good faith that you live together, but that you suffered abuse and the person would not be notified. So circumstances you can file for VAWA. When you have suffered emotional abuse, not just someone walking out, but someone intentionally knowing that they're hurting you and do not care. Circumstance number 2, you have filed a marriage base, but your spouse is using that application or petition as a weapon, as leverage against you, because they know you need their help, or they believe without them you cannot get your papers. And it's a case of, yes, interviews coming up, I'm not going to show up, or I'll tell you if I feel like showing up, or day before interview, they do not show up, or the day of the interview, you're there by yourself and the immigration officer is like, where's your spouse? I don't know. Yes, that is the case where someone is sabotaging your immigration status. That's circumstance number 2 where you can file for VAWA. Circumstance number 3, obviously, if you suffered physical abuse, someone hitting you, whatever the case may be, that is a direct physical abuse case for VAWA. In a case where you're enduring constant verbal abuse, that is another circumstance which qualifies you for VAWA. Like you've lost your self-esteem, everything they call you but your name. Other situations where, for instance, if you get to the interview and you have your interview, but your spouse intentionally is answering questions that has now made your case where the immigration officer is questioning the validity of your marriage, and that eventually leads them to deny your case, that is a basis for you filing for VAWA. That will qualify for you abuse. Another circumstance is your spouse decides on their own to withdraw your petition, because they know that you have a fight and they decide to withdraw it and they don't tell you. I have cases like that we have pending, because you make your case and showing a pattern where that was intentional and they knew what the circumstances was going to be, the consequence was going to be, but they did not care. Now, the fact that you get a denial does not always mean, and your spouse had nothing to do with that, meaning they cooperated, they went to the interview with you, whatever the case may be, that is not a basis for VAWA. So I am that attorney that I don't take any case without consultation, whether a lot of people are like, okay, I intend to retain your services, so why should I pay? It's not about you. It's about whether or not it's something that I want to take, whether or not I can help you make your case, improve your case, and we start a relationship, attorney-client relationship at that point. So my consultation is how I can evaluate a case and see what the strength of your case is and what the weakness or weaknesses in your case will be. Now, let me say this. The fact that you had a denial does not eliminate, and you now start a VAWA case, does not mean USCIS will not still go back to your case that was denied. Every filing you have done in the past will be factored into your VAWA case. However, unlike before, where if there was an allegation of marriage fraud against you, it's generally a bar to you ever getting a green card. Now, especially with the new policy of shared residency expansion, even if you've had a fraudulent marriage allegation against you in the previous filing, USCIS is now required to give you yet another chance when you file for VAWA to prove that that previous marriage, even though they had concluded it was fraudulent, to once again prove that they were wrong and look at that afresh, anew, not based on what happened in the past. So the point being, even if you've had a fraudulent case against you or a conclusion against you, that does not prevent you from, it may be much tougher, but it doesn't prevent you from filing for VAWA. So thank you, Queen. Let's see. So who qualifies? We talked about that. A lot of men do not know they qualify. It's Violence Against Women Act, but men, women, children, I think men and women are the genders that I know. But yeah, you get the point. What else? Let's see. So we have emotional abuse situation, we have intentionally sabotaging your case, or another circumstance that can qualify you for that is your spouse refusing to file your immigration papers at all. No one is required to, but part of control is the fact that they know that if they file your papers on your behalf, you will be able to get your green card and you probably would leave. I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to about that. It is a form of control. And so that in a circumstance where they keep telling you, thank you, we'll do it next year. We'll do it 6 months. Let's just make it to the 2-year marriage. That is control. Please hear me loud and clear. That is control. And that is a basis that you can make a ground for a VAWA case. No one should control you as a full-fledged adult who has traveled thousands of miles. I mean, listen, you can tell I get passionate about this because for me, it is hard for someone like me and y'all too, because we're all from somewhere, even including Americans. Unless you're Native American, we all came from somewhere. From the Caribbeans, from England, from Europe, from Africa. But nobody owns this land. Let's just call it spade a spade. Thank you. But for those of us who are not, we're not born here, we had to migrate here. We have goals. We ain't coming here for handouts. So to now come and start from scratch. Listen, y'all. I was telling my oldest kid who is going to be a senior next school year. I'm old. I'm old. I literally am talking to my kid about college. It felt like yesterday when I started college. Yeah, I got a 17. It will be 18 in December. But I was telling him about when I came to the United States. Y'all, I worked in the mall with a law degree, but it didn't faze me. See, one thing I learned about working, because I work in clinic cosmetics and learned how to do makeup, and I still use the kit till today, which was like 20 years ago, 19 years ago, 2003. Okay, point being, we come here and hustle. We've got goals, because I knew I had to go back to law school. Okay, I knew it was going to take time, and then I had kids, so that was on the back burner. But I knew that I had to do it. And eventually, fast forward, 11 years after then, I did. Fast forward, 14 years after that, took the New York bar. Point being, we don't come here for handouts. The last thing you want to be subjected to is someone telling you how to leave, when to sleep. I got a client who, the wife will leave in the morning, and please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all spouses are bad. I'm just telling you that's why Congress created VAWA as an option. The wife will leave in the morning for work. Baby daddy will come to the house and do whatever he wants to do because they have a kid. This man cannot sleep on the bed until she gets back home. If he bought in and she's got a camera in the room, that is an example of what immigrants go through. But there's no one he was watching me on YouTube and the grown men crying, in the consultation. The fact that he knew that there was an option for him, and he was like, "Am I sure? Are you sure, Sister Lloyd?" Yes. Now he's got his work permit. We've got a case pending that he's able to be liberated. And she had a problem with him taking care of his mother back home. Our culture in Africa, that is just the way it is. It is a prayer on your own head so that your children, as much as we want to leave a legacy for them, they take care of you. My son, my 11-year-old kid says, "Mama, you work a lot." And I said, yes, because I want you to have a better life than I ever had. He says, but don't worry. I know you're doing all this and you're going to take care of me. And I'm going to take care of it. Let me charge my computer before I go. Give me 1 second, people. I'm going to put this through here. I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry. Listen, I teared up. I was like, you know what? But the point is, we do things for our parents, and we're sowing into our future because our kids will in turn take care of us when we can no longer take care of ourselves. So imagine someone telling you, and people's cultures are different, but telling you, no, they can take care of you. A 70-something-year-old woman, what's she going to do in Nigeria? She spent everything she had to send him here, and he can't take care of her. Come on now, people. So that's it. Those are circumstances that you can file for VAWA. Men qualify, women qualify. Now, third issue, will your spouse get in trouble? Well, that is one common question I get every day. No, 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 and no. It is a confidential process. There are very few things where generally you need a sponsor to file something for you to qualify for a green card. That sponsor is usually a family member or an employer. There are very few options where you can unilaterally on your own file a petition as an online basis for a green card. VAWA is one of such. It's one of those humanitarian cases where, because Congress understands that people come here and are treated really badly, that's an option. It doesn't make it, it's not a cop out. It's not an easy way out, but because you're still required to prove the same thing in a marriage-based case. If anything, it's almost much more harder, because unlike when you have a regular marriage based where you have the spouse where you can prove together, the whole sole burden of proof rests on you. And they don't call you for interview for a VAWA case petition itself. It's all based on what you send in. So your spouse would not be notified. Example, if I write, we have a hotline that we use for attorneys, and they would verify every single email that I send on behalf of a client in a VAWA case. I have to attach my Form G28 to that email, and they have to verify that it is me. If you call the contact center, they cannot give you any information about a VAWA case because it's a confidential process. If you even write to the Veteran Service Center, they will question you if it's not from an attorney, because they want to be sure that it's not a spouse trying to get information about your case. It is confidential. Will your spouse get in trouble? A short answer, no. Now, if you make a complaint about a criminal case or whatever, and they're arrested based on that, that's completely different. But as far as USCIS now using the abuse that they have, that you've endured at the hands of your spouse as a basis to now go get them, no. It's I have clients who are still living with their spouses in the same home. I have a client, I think I've said that before. I have another client who had a baby after we filed. Life goes on. So that's it. So if you are someone who has been on the fence, you're not sure, I said it before, I say it again, if you even qualify for VAWA, just want to know, this is a time, this administration is a time you want to find out whether or not you qualify. Trust me on that one. Trust me. If you've never trusted me before, trust me on that one. But anyway, that's it. That's all she wrote. Yeah. All right, let's get to questions. Okay, so that's all things VAWA. Let's see. Deborah Gibson, good evening as well. Joy, loud and clear on YouTube, my internet is back. I'm telling you, it was like a drug, like, it's back. But in my true Nigerian woman fashion, who can guess the very first thing I did after they restored service? If somebody can guess, I'll give you a free consultation for real. Somebody guessed the very first thing I did after my service was restored in a true Nigerian woman fashion. I'll wait and I'll go through the questions. Joy, can someone with VAWA make an increase with Congress fastening your case? Do you mean an inquiry? You cannot just make now. I don't know what you mean by fasten your case. You can always make a you can request congressional assistance, but the confidentiality that is afforded the VAWA case still has to be there. So if you don't have an attorney, you're probably better going through that. But if your case is still within normal present time, what exactly are you trying to fasten or hasten that for? If you have a work permit or and travel, unless you do not have that, because nothing is. If you file for VAWA, if your case is still within normal present time, there really isn't anything that's going to be done. But if you're looking to, okay, I want to work while it's pending, I want to travel while it's pending, then that's why you file your 485 and you file advance parole while it's pending. That's just what I would say. Stone Sterling, I filed for that in August, got prima facie in December. 8 months, no EAD until now. What do you think about if it's still within our present time? Then that's what it is. Now I can't find any rhyme or rhythm to USCI's processing with the EAD these days, because a case we filed in November, we already have the EAD. This one I filed in May, we're still waiting. There was one of my clients' son. We filed it in February. We got the EAD last week. No, this past Tuesday, the one in the photo. He of course he doesn't need it, but I don't know. But if it's still within normal processing time, then you just have to wait. Deborah Gibson, VAWA approved January 2022. Congratulations. With advance parole, what's next? What do you mean what's next? Have you filed your green card application? So that will be the next thing for you to do. Hashtag, can someone be qualified for EB5 or EB2 while she's in asylum removal who arrived in US when applied 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 status? If you're in removal proceeding, then you're not in valid status. So you can file a EB5 investor visa or EB2 national interest if you qualify, because you can file the petition. But being in removal, you will not be able to adjust your status without having to file a waiver, unless you're filing a petition based on, or you qualify for one that was filed back. What happened to my watch? Is it broken? I think so. Okay, anyway, I digress. Okay. Deyanni, I received second prima facie for 6 months and my EAD will expire next week. What can I do? Have you filed a renewal? When you say prima facie for 6 months, are you talking about your EAD receipt notice extension for 6 months? If you've already filed, if anyone works in the healthcare or childcare industry, you already know. And if you don't know, you can, based on that, and they would ask you to produce evidence, you can request expedited processing of your case. Now, I'm very, very hopeful that once we get into May, the internal time goals that they're trying to implement USCIS, part of which is to adjudicate EADs within 3 months. I'm very hopeful that that's gonna happen, but let's see. May is 2 weeks from now, so we'll see. So, Deborah, your 25-year-old son, that your question is one that would require consultation. There's no yes or no, because I don't know anything about your case. So your 25-year-old son will have to, he or she, well, he can do a consultation so I can know more about his case, but that's not a yes, no, this is what you need to do. That's something you sit down with an attorney to do. Or if you have an attorney, ask your attorney that question. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 is not 𝐸𝐽. Filed by April 2021, received prima facie May 2021. Previous biometric updated April. What's next? I'm not sure what you guys mean by what's next. You file for VAWA, did you file for 485? If you file for 485, then what's next is they're going to process your case. And if it's still within our, VAWA can take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years. So what do you mean? What next that you what's next that you want to know? Jeff, good evening. How long you get your travel documents if you file for VA? How long you get? Do you mean how long it's gonna take, or how long the travel document will be for? Sisi agbẹjọ́rò ọmọ bàbá Sàún. Kí ni mo wá lábẹ́ table? If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. Immigration Nikki Miss spouse ni wa. When it done, I married before. I said I no marry. I bikini. Nǹkan tí mo wá lábẹ́ table ni. Okay. Mishi or Mickey, filed by November 2020. I got my prima facie after 3 months and I did biometrics, but my VA status is still the same until now, and I really badly need to work to sustain my daily needs. And I'm assuming that you did not file a work permit, you did not file a 485, because if you filed a 485 with your VA petition, then there's no reason why you will be waiting since November 2020 to now. Let me tell you something, people. It's not just you self petitioners and DIY people, do it yourself. Even legal practitioners make that error of submitting a C31 work permit. But if you intend to work while your case is pending, you've got to file the green card application because you get a C9. The C31 does not come until, I've said it, this is beating a dead horse. It doesn't come until your VA case has been approved. If you filed VA and you filed a C31, you're waiting on that work permit, you ain't getting it until your VA petition is approved. That's the good news. But if you want to work while it's pending, you file a 485. That's just how it works. Okay. Bella, my VA was approved in February. Congratulations. How long before I get? Depends on processing time, how fast your field office is processing cases, if they're going to schedule for an interview. There's a whole lot that goes into that. So, okay, let's go on Instagram. I'm going to go. Let's see. ZZ's at college. I know at college. Shut off the other one. Okay, let's see. What do I use on my skin? I make my own moisturizer. I do. If you look at my page, you'll see the video. I actually do make my own moisturizer. So, and I use it for everything. My hair, I started making moisturizer because of my youngest son, TJ. They both have very, very sensitive skin. But when TJ was born as a baby, he reacted and broke out eyes, bumps to everything. There was, a Vino, Aquaphor, name it. I tried it. And so I had to okay, so basically I had to research doing something organic. And so I started watching videos on YouTube on how to make organic raw moisturizer and figured out, tweaked things and all that and figured out how to make mine. And he's almost 12, he'll be 12 in August. So over a decade, I've been making moisturizer for them. So that's what everybody uses. That's what I use for my skin as well. So, but thank you. I'm very, very handy, very crafty. Like I'm the girl who changes light bulb, replaces a leaky faucet. Yeah. Gets under the sink and I do it. Don't be fooled by all this now. Trust me. Okay. Yes, you already said your friends were knocked him out with a bat. I'm telling you. Mr. 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 I think I sent you an email and I respond. I think I sent you an email days ago too. Is that what you responded to? Omo Black, hello. I got a home visit, but they met only my wife as I was out of town to see my son. They asked my wife some questions and took photos. Picture of my clothes and my stuff in the bathroom. They spent like 15 minutes. when I tell you they make home visit, I may make this video live and all that. Listen, okay, let's talk about the video now. The video I made, right? Chris was the USCIS officer, and he goes, "I'm here to see your spouse. Tumwa, that's Yoruba." Now, that's you acting at your own risk. That's my disclaimer. You ain't gonna say, Sisi no, 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 no. You ain't gonna call my name. Y'all and Sisi Lloyd don't know each other at that time. So, but they do. They do come. Okay. Oh, 8 months after the interview. Thank you, Black. I've done a video in the past where I said, for the most part, the delay after the interview and getting your green card sometimes is intentional because they want to see whether or not you're still living together, whether or not you're still carrying on as husband and wife. They want to see, is this a real marriage? Now, people get married and get married and divorced in a year. That happens. But if you're not telling them you're divorced or things have changed, they expect to see both of you at home. So the delay sometimes is intentional to see if they would find you in a lie or whatever the case may be. And you'd be surprised if they find anything questionable. They waited 2 years. You've been waiting 2 years, but they may pay a home visit, and the next thing you have a decision in less than 2 weeks after the visit, like, oh yeah, we've denied your case. Point being, just be prepared and know that that happens. Hello, Miss Chidu. How are you? Okay. How long does it take to get approved after you receive your prima facie? Prima facie has nothing to do with how long it's going to take you to get approved in your VA case. Your skin is glowing. Thank you, Gifted. Black is beautiful. Byrex, please, man. When can you file for citizenship? Is it 3 years after green card, or you can file if the marriage is 5 years, but your green card age is just 1? It's generally, now, disclaimer again, this is not about anyone's specific case. If you want to talk about your specific case, you pay to discuss that. But generally, citizenship you can file based on 3 years as a legal permanent resident, and you are in marital union with your spouse, or based on 3 years as a permanent resident, whether or not you're still married to your citizen spouse, but you got your green card through Vawa. That's 3 years. 5 years is you've been a legal permanent resident for 5 years, whether or not you're still living with your spouse. This is you as a legal permanent resident for 5 years. Each case you can file, or all 3 cases you can file 90 days before the 30-year anniversary of your green card, being a green card holder, or the 50th-year anniversary of being a green card holder. Byrex, does that answer your question? If you have a C9P, that's work permit, and you are a student, what does that mean? Obviously, you must have filed for your green card, Victor Pekka. Obviously, you must have filed for your green card, so you have to give me more information. Gifted, I was denied at 1:30 because you have no clue how much clearer I can see with my new prescription. Because you remember I had my old glasses and I just wasn't doing it. I had to squint through my glasses, but now I have, then you will never know they're thick lenses because myself, I'm 43. I ain't going to be looking like I want Coke, but no, don't do that. So I didn't even know they had these progressive lenses. So like it's a magnifier, but it's stylish. Because like I always tell my kids, like teachers, like I would dress me like, where you going when dressed like hey. I'm like, hey, listen soon. That is yellow. I had kids. I didn't die. No, mommy, she want that. I didn't die. I just had kids. Doesn't mean I'm old. So please. You're seeing my kids. Sometimes they will shake their like, mm, 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 mm. But listen, he told one of his friends one day they were playing their PS4 and the guy was whining and he goes, "Hey, dude, you can't live with my mom because with all that whining, because kids, I don't think kids are allowed to whine in Nigeria." Like, huh? But listen, and the kid is like, he can never leave with Mr. Happy. Yes, I you bet you. No, you can. I would. Let's just say he's not my child. Okay, give that. Because I didn't have enough evidence and they said it was fraud, but I filed an appeal, which I'm still expecting a reply since 2019. But can I qualify for that? You would have to set up a proper consultation to discuss your case in detail. My husband once forced me to sleep with just one. My husband once forced me to sleep with just one. One what? Can I? Yeah, you will need to set up a proper consultation. Okay. Let's see. Having a master hearing but no lawyer, will it be a problem to go alone? Master county hearing is just basically the court telling you what you've been charged with and giving you a list of attorneys that you can choose from or accredited representatives, and then setting your reading it, and then you're going to either admit or deny the allegations, and then it'll give you a scheduling order and set up a merits individual hearing. So you don't necessarily have to have a lawyer because it's just really because in lieu of a master calendar hearing, you can actually have written pleadings. So rather than be in court, you write it in, you state it in with a personal affidavit. So, but obviously before you have a merits hearing, I would always advise to have an attorney with you. Annabelle, and I know this is off topic, but please, what is a good option for someone that oversee their visa entry? Go on USCIS.gov because I get the question a lot. Go on USCIS.gov website because if you want me to give you different options of how you can get a green card, that is time and you will have to pay for that. So just go on USCIS.gov website and do your research and see what you may or may not qualify for. I thought about it with an attorney in January and going for biometrics tomorrow. No problem official yet, and she sent an expedite to request for that. Is that normal, being that she just filed this? So it's not unusual not to have a prima facie. This is April for 3 months. It's not unusual, but I would say she's probably doing it just to be cautious in the sense of because I've done that before where I had a case pending for 5 months and I had not received a prima facie. It turns out that they claimed they had sent one to my office. We never received it. So I requested a duplicate copy to be sent to me. So she's probably just trying to be cautious and proactive. Can my church file for me, depending on what it is? So let me say this. Anyone can file any petition if you qualify. The main question a lot of people should be asking is, can I adjust my status in the country? There is a difference between filing an underlying petition and being able to adjust your status without having to leave. So a church can file, a family member can file, an employer can file a petition. Do you qualify to change status, to adjust status without having to leave and file a waiver and go? That is the main question. And generally, if you're out of status, generally you would have to leave, unless you're doing like cancellation removal, whatever the case may be. But generally, if you've been out of status, even if your petition is approved, the question is, are you eligible to adjust your status without leaving the country? Okay. Noah Henry 97. Do you think it's safe to travel with advanced parole and under that? I just had 2 clients travel between February and now, and both of them are back in. Now, I always say, tell me before you leave. And as soon as you come back in, let me know. Because immigration is crazy. But as long as you have no, um, I say as long as there are no other admissibility issues, then you should be fine. Kenny, I have filed for VAWA since 2018. The only letter get every 6 months, a prime official letter and not, and work authorization when review. Should not be worried. It's taking longer to be approved. Your case is way outside normal processing time. If you have a lawyer on your case, ask them to write, send an email or do an inquiry to Vermont Service Center. If you do not, I would say to contact them in writing and let them know. Gorilla, in March 2020, we approved I-130 for me and my first daughter, who is 20 years old now. But unfortunately, my husband, who filed, left the house since that time because he used to abuse me. So are you asking if you can, because you said I filed VAWA, is it? Are you asking if you can? That him 30 days. This is not, but generally it shouldn't be a problem as long as you have no other issues. My comfort zone is 21 days. Can I in the UK? I'll be Niger for 30 days. Go or Canada. Where you going? 30 days. But you can. I mean, generally. Do you have to pay new fees to expedite I-131 and sell? I mean, I assume you mean 765, not 785 after filing both before in the past. What do you mean to expedite? Are you asking if you have to pay new filing fees if you have to renew that? No, because if you've paid, no, I mean, as long as you have a pending I-485. No, I've answered your question. Miss Finally, address cohabitation. What happens in cases of abuse where they are yet to cohabit? You have to live together. Listen, I'm going to say this. If you want to retain my services and you tell me, this is lawyer again, so tough for you, I usually stop people like, yeah, if it's going to conflict me out, I will let you know, and that means I won't be able to take your case. So if you're going to tell me, more backberry and all that, as an attorney, I'm not going to put my license on the line and defend you and say you live together. So there's some information that is best not to share with me because I worked too hard for my license to now say, oh, I know you didn't live together, but we're going to say you live together. I ain't going to do that. That's just the truth. So with VAWA cases, you've got to live together. That it's not optional. You have to have lived together at some point. There is no requirement for the length of time to share residence. And now with the new policy, anytime before the marriage is also going to be considered, but zero cohabitation it's not, you cannot justify shared residency if you never live together. Hello, Epic Movement. Thank you. CVT 900, can deportation proceedings be canceled? Yes, they can be terminated. TLC Connect Group, what does it mean I-765 case closed because recipient or applicant received status of benefit? Did you get your green card? Martins, do you handle case of relatives trying to enter U.S.? We don't provide avenues to immigrate. So that's not what a lawyer does. We don't provide like, okay, yeah, this is how, no, but you have to have your grounds to immigrate. King Abiodun, you haven't heard back after your interview. Make an inquiry and see what's going on. Okay. Is it advisable to go with a lawyer for I-751 initial interview? It's always advisable to go with a lawyer for any interview. I have an interview tomorrow morning. I'm going to join in virtually, telephonically. It is always advisable. Rabio, are you better? How long it's supposed to take to get approved and filed? I filed 1 year already, but not. You just sent me a receipt, and that's all. VAR can take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years. People, this is why it's advisable to have a lawyer on your case. Rather than you worried and trying to figure out answers, nobody knows all the answers. There's some times that are like, I don't know what's going on, but we can find out. But it's easier for an attorney to communicate with the Vermont Service Center when it comes to VAWA cases, especially given the confidential nature, than you yourself. So it's always advisable to get a lawyer. It is always advisable to get a lawyer. It is just what it is. Okay. All right, people. So I cannot answer all questions. Let's see real quick. Hello.
Hello, man.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Evening, man. I'm doing all right.
Nice to meet you.
Same here, man.
Okay. Shalafia.
Yeah, I do well.
What question you got now? There's a whole lot of people watching on YouTube and all that listening. So anything that's going to be too personal or private, just FYI, don't share. So what question do you have?
Okay, so based on that, what I would just do is I would just go ahead with the appointment. I'll make an appointment with you then.
Okay, but did you have something general that you want to ask that you don't mind people hearing?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all, man.
All right then. Nice to meet you, Bill.
Yes, man.
Okay. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah,
bye. Now that's where the issue. I don't know how to. Okay. I'm not tech savvy. So anyway, people. Okay. I applied for that in December 2019, got prima facie and RFE and then EAD C31 39 days ago. My lawyer is saying it's not necessary. Incorrect. Your lawyer is saying it's necessary that your case is approved. That is incorrect. Please hear me loud and clear. You can quote me anywhere. I've told a lot of people this, and it's being that if you get a C31 EAD that has been approved and issued to you, Mohammed, listen loud and clear, and please get in touch with me. Send me an email, aos@olalalawfirm.com. That means your VAWA case is going to be approved. I don't care what someone says unnecessarily. No. You do not get a C31 EAD unless your VAWA case has been approved and you're going to be getting an approval. Think about it this way. When you get a C31 EAD, the C31 EAD usually has your I-360 VAWA petition receipt number. Work with me here, people. This ain't rocket science. This is something that this is how it goes. Your EAD C31 EAD is coming to you, and it would have, if your case status will have your I-360 receipt number. That's what it shows up like we order you a new card. If you go all the way down to see the history of your case, the very first thing we'll see, we received your I-360 petition. On the I-360 form, there is a part that says, upon approval, do you want us to issue you an employment authorization? If you choose yes, they would only issue you a C31 authorization upon the fact that your case will be approved. That's it. No long and short. That is what it is, Mohammed. So if you got a C31 39 days ago, your status is going to change soon, hopefully, to we approved your I-130, I-360 petition. And I want you to revert back to me and let me know. So that's how it goes. But anyway, y'all can tell I'm very passionate about immigration, right? All right, people, I gotta go. All right, I will see you guys next time. And once again, if you need to contact our office, number is 334-341-4475. If I'm supposed to have gotten back to you this past week, I thank you so much for your patience. I have been completely out of normal high-speed internet, and I did not know. Thank you, Mohammed. I will be expecting to hear from you, and I believe hopefully very soon. But one thing I wanted to do is go back and see your USCIS case status on that under that I-360 receipt number, and you would see that your C-31 was issued under the same number as the I-360. Okay. So if once again, if you need to contact us, 334-341-4475. If I'm yet to, you're welcome, Marianne. If I'm yet to get in touch with you, please bear with me. I'm just literally just going to go back doing work that I've not been able to do for days because my internet at work. See, my mom is a 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊, so I have a 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊 in me. Because I mostly work from home, I just don't, I just can't justify having extremely high speed internet at work. Just cannot. That's just the 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊 in me. So yeah. So I thank everyone for being patient. But I'll see you guys next time, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.